Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be. My man Ryan has been a lifelong Ravens fan since he was born. So I'm telling you now, it's about to go down. The podcast, the flock rundown. Ravens, baby. Nothing gets better than waking up and wondering how high we can fly. Tune in.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
Appreciate you, Ray. What's up, Ravens fans? My name is Ryan, and welcome back to another episode of the Flock Rundown. It happened. We've been talking about it. We've been making videos, even guessed the contract amount, to be honest with you. But King Henry, Derrick Henry, is officially a Baltimore Raven. 2-year deal, $16 million, $9 million guaranteed in the first year, incentives up to $20 million total. I mean, it's pretty much a 1-year deal because it's all kind of guaranteed up front, and if they want to get out of it next year, they easily can. But regardless, he's a Raven, a backfield of Derrick Henry, and then Justice Hill, Keaton Mitchell. We basically upgraded Gus Edwards to Derrick Henry. I love Gus Edwards. He'll do great in LA, especially with Greg Roman. And we'll go over, and later in this episode, I'm going to go over all the free agents we lost and what I think about that and stuff like that, especially the one that just happened, Patrick Queen of the Steelers. Like, what the hell? But this is a Derrick Henry segment, so I'm going to stay on topic. But it's really just that power-speed combination. Derrick Henry has both, to be honest with you. I saw a stat today on Twitter saying that he ran over 21 miles an hour last year, and I think he's had a 50-plus yard touchdown run in 7 straight seasons. He brings everything you'd want to the table as a running back and then some. I mean, what running back is this big, moving that fast? And he's entering a dominant run game. The Ravens have ran the ball well for years. Basically, since Lamar Jackson has been the quarterback, the Ravens lead the league in rushing almost every year. So Derrick Henry's coming into a place that can run the ball. I'm just so hyped, man. I know you guys are hyped. This is a good day. I was getting a little worried. I'd never in a million years expected that the running back market would be that hot that fast. I definitely saw Saquon being the top of the market and Josh Jacobs getting money and Pollard and all these guys, but I didn't think it would all happen within like hours of the opening free agency. At least not like the DeAndre Swift, Tony Pollards, Austin Ecklers, like all these guys signed in one day. And all the Ravens fans are just sitting back, getting a little stressed, like, man, we only really got one guy. Then Aaron Jones gets cut. He goes to the Vikings. Then Joe Mixon gets cut initially, but he had that domestic violence pass. That's why I was like, man, the Ravens probably aren't going to touch him. Then he ends up getting traded to Houston. I guess they didn't officially release him, and then they redid it, and he gets sent to Houston. And I was like, okay, because Houston and Dallas were like the only other suitors for Derrick Henry, at least to be rumored. So at that point, I was starting to feel a lot better. And then, an hour or so after that, we get the Derrick Henry news. And I wanted to hop on here and celebrate with you guys and just enjoy some positivity, man. Last season ended kind of brutal, but having Derrick Henry in the backfield, just envisioning what that's going to look like. The offensive line right now is our biggest need to just start adding pieces and shore up and get athletic and make sure that we have a strong front for not only to protect Lamar, but to now block for Derrick Henry and create basically an unstoppable running game, in my opinion. I think that with Derrick Henry there healthy, this will be an unstoppable running game. We will be able to kind of do whatever we want. Read option with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson is stuff I dream of, man. I'm literally going to put Derrick Henry on Madden right now. We had to commit a little bit financially to Derrick Henry this year. Obviously, there's injury risk. There's injury risk with everybody, but production-wise, I'm not worried about Derrick Henry producing at all. An injury, yeah, but I'm worried about anyone getting hurt. I'm worried about Lamar getting hurt. Like, anybody could get hurt, so let's just move that to the side. His production is not going to fall off. He's that guy, and especially in this offense. And it's essentially a 1-year deal. We're pretty committed to this year. I don't know what our salary cap's looking like. It seems like this would put us way over, but I'm sure behind the scenes they've already done multiple contract restructures and moved money around, and they don't really even need to be cap compliant until tomorrow. So we'll see what ends up happening. I'm sure all that'll start leaking out, but man, I'm excited we got Derrick Henry. Let me know what you guys are thinking. This is a big signing, seriously. This is a big signing. I think this makes our offense incredibly difficult to deal with, and we can really, really bully some teams, especially if we have a lead. It's game over, man. We'd just run Derrick Henry down your throat. Good luck. Now, the Ravens also lost a bunch of dudes, and we'll start with the biggest one, in my opinion, and that is Patrick Queen. Not that I thought we would re-sign Patrick Queen. I kind of knew he was leaving, especially once we signed Matabike. I was like, okay, we're not doing another major deal. But Patrick Queen goes to the Steelers, 3 years, $41 million. That one doesn't sit right. Seeing Patrick Queen as the linebacker for Pittsburgh is going to be very weird. And I don't know how I feel about it. I love Patrick Queen. Obviously, we drafted him. We spent the last 5 years with him. You know, I've seen him grow as a player tremendously. When he first came to the Ravens, he was not the player that he is now. You know, Roquan coming over and being by his side really, I think, elevated Patrick Queen, and just his age, just his experience getting older. He just got better. But Patrick Queen's a way better player now, man. He's a baller. He's fast, physical linebacker. If there's any Pittsburgh fans watching, like, you got a good one. But, man, is it going to be weird. Like, I can't root for him. I can't root for him at all. And then another op is Geno Stone, who signed with the Bengals. So now he's their safety. So, just weird, man. Weird that these guys who, you know, bleed black and purple are in the AFC North on other teams, on the rival teams, and we're going to see these guys twice a year. It is what it is. Obviously, it's a business. They probably had the most attractive offers, I'm sure. Patrick Queen wasn't dying to go to Pittsburgh. I mean, maybe he was. I don't know. We'll probably hear more as more information comes out, but I would imagine Pittsburgh just had an attractive offer for him. I thought Patrick Queen would be able to fetch a little bit more money and the market would be a little hotter for him, but it didn't really end up being that way. So that kind of surprised me a bit, but congrats to Patrick Queen. Congrats to Geno Stone. You are now the opposition, though. So I will not be rooting for these guys, but I appreciate your time in Baltimore. I enjoy watching you guys play and grow as players and wish you the best of luck. I mentioned briefly earlier in the video, but Gus Edwards goes to the LA Chargers, so he'll be under Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman again. So I think he'll do great there, man. The fact that Greg Roman's there, that's perfect for Gus. They obviously are familiar with each other, and Greg Roman is always going to bring a great running game to the table, and Gus Edwards is going to fit in perfect and score a bunch of touchdowns for the Chargers, man. And I'm going to miss Gus the Bus. John Simpson, our left guard, got a bag to go to the Jets. Also, Del'Shawn Phillips went to the Jets. And then Devin Duvernay and Ronald Darby signed with the Jaguars. So a lot of movement, a lot of Ravens players going elsewhere. I don't think any of those losses are massive. I didn't love seeing Darby go. I thought Darby was an incredible veteran piece for our secondary last year, so I would like to get another guy like that in our cornerback room. I think we need the depth there. So that one stung a little bit. Duvernay, I'm not surprised. He really just has not been involved in the offense at all. Del'Shawn Phillips, I'm not surprised. John Simpson, I'm not surprised with, we heard all offseason that John Harbaugh and Eric DeCosta were going to rebuild this offensive line, so they are obviously moving on, decided not to sign John Simpson, decided not to extend Zeitler. I know Zeitler hasn't signed elsewhere yet, and I guess he could come back. It's still on the table, but it would surprise me just because we could have got an extension done, and we decided to absorb $4+ million in dead money instead of signing Zeitler. So I just imagine we're getting younger, more athletic, more upside guys, but we'll see. Free agency really hasn't started yet. I know the legal tampering, verbal communication period's open where people are verbally agreeing, but the league year doesn't really start till tomorrow when they actually sign, so things could change, and there's still a lot of time for a lot of guys to go places. And as free agency goes on and on, you'll see the contracts come down, and that's when the Ravens can strike on some more value guys, like possibly bringing back a Jadeveon Clowney or going out and getting another veteran like that, people that are cut, and just there's so many things that are going to happen. There's so many other guys that the Ravens are going to add for small deals. They also have to make a decision on Odell by Thursday. Probably going to cut him, I would imagine, but we could extend him. I don't know if they're still talking or what's going on, but there's definitely a decision that has to be made because his contract converts to like $50 million guaranteed or some crazy number. But let me know what you guys think about Geno Stone and Patrick Queen staying in the division. going to our rivals. Let me know what you guys think about Derrick Henry rocking that black and purple in Baltimore now. And as always, guys, I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of the Flock Rundown. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim there where the sense can't tame the untamed.